What do you think about anything that he has to work on or transitioning to the NFL and being in Klint Kubiak's offense with the Raiders? Most likely.
Right, most likely.
99.8%. I'll give that 0.2 Raiders factor in there.
Right. It'd be crazy if they did anything else. I do think some of the pocket presence stuff, his capacity to take sacks, I think is there a little bit, but I do think it's like overblown. I think in the sense of like, sure, is it one of the blemishes in his game? Totally. But there are very good quarterbacks where that is the case for them, where like they take a few more sacks than you would like. Because with Mendoza, I think it kind of comes out in the wash. It's like if you're going to take a couple of more sacks, maybe you're going to put the ball on the ground every now and then, be a very aggressive passer and be able to win down the field and like win those back with explosives. Again, it's similar to the conversation that we had about Cam Ward last year, where it's like he's holding onto the ball and doing all this stuff, but he's winning you those plays down the field. I think there's a little bit of that to Mendoza. I think in like the lower end outcome, that plays out similar to like Sam Darnold, right? Where like Sam Darnold will hang in there, hold the ball, fire it, sometimes get strip sacked, but you still have enough of those high moments that like in the right environment, again, spinning this forward to the Kubiak thing, those things can work because he's a guy who's willing to make throws down the field, willing to make throws into tight windows and stuff. And so I think to me, it is like something that he can work on, but still something that like makes sense within the rest of his game and is not really going to sink him that bad.
Yeah, and I also think that some of the sack numbers and everything, especially when if you look at his whole career, the 2024 year at Cal was just, their O-line was an abomination. The RPOs were those kind of the RPO versions I hate, which unless it's in the red zone, which is just, okay, we're going to run some run play and then we just run a go on the outside, and it's supposed to be a matchup advantage, but like DBs are better now, so there's not as many, especially when you're at Cal. You got to know what kind of receiver you have at Cal. KYP, know your personnel. And there's a lot of times where he'd just be dead to rights. Like he would just read it. Oh, I'm going to throw a go. Oh, my guy gets smothered. Dead. There's no check down. There's no throwaway option. And there's other times where the O-line would just get smoked as soon as he was trying to drop back. So, and like his sack rate in 2024 was 9.4%. This year is 6.2. So if he hovers at 6.2 is about league average over the last few years. So, and he's scrambled more this year. He's an efficient scrambler. Like he's a good athlete. And I think he's 235. It's like he's a big guy. Like
that's
huge.
He's not Andrew Luck, but there is a little bit of like, I think people don't realize how good of an athlete he is. The way that we did with Luck, obviously Luck was like a special prospect, but like it still quite didn't feel like people understood how insane of an athlete and how good his arm was. I think it was a lot of like, he's good on the chalkboard, he's tough, good leader, all that stuff. And that was true. Yes. Also, he's incredibly built for it and an insane athlete. And I think there's some of that going on with Mendoza.
Justin Herbert was 6'6" and a quarter, 236. He ran a 4.68. I would say Mendoza was maybe like high 4.7s, probably. That would be my guess, but maybe just a little bit slower than that. But like that's another thing. Like watch Herbert run. Like I saw him in the Rose Bowl against Wisconsin run all over him, but like that was an aspect of his game in the NFL that was like, holy crap, this guy's eating up ground. And again, it's sometimes just aesthetics. Like it doesn't look cool. His face mask doesn't look cool. Like he's not a cool looking player. And I understand that, but it's like, man, when you watch him, he's just got like, he has cojones. And like but it's just so it's brutally efficient. It's like how Dak can be sometimes, like where it's just like, I get it. Like this looks boring and it doesn't feel like a bunch of wow plays. This past year, there's more wow plays, but it's like when you look it up and you're like, man, you watch it on film, you're like, this guy just makes good decision after good decision and just doesn't make those brutal mistakes and just has a knack for making the big plays. That's, again, you were talking about the tier, but there's some kind of play style comparisons. Matt Ryan has been kind of my upside comparison for him. Matt was a little bit of a looser, goofier athlete, but another player that was underrated throwing on the move. But man, just I don't know. He checks a lot of boxes. He's aggressive. I think there's more high-end play to him. I think we're in lockstep kind of how we feel about him. The sack stuff, I think it's got better. He does sometimes drift backwards a little too much, but he got better at that, I think, at Indiana, which is appealing. But yeah, I'm excited with the fit with the Raiders. I interviewed Fernando Mendoza last week. I mean, he'll be on the pod later this week, so it'll be pretty good. Pretty good stuff there. He asked me for any advice once we finished recording, which I wish was on air. And
oh, that's really cool.
Which I thought, and he also did research before. He was like, I know who you are. I know. Like, I was like, oh crap. Like,
has he seen the clip?
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. That's got to be good. I think so. Very studious, Fernando Mendoza. Is exactly what you think. But any closing thoughts as we wrap up Mendoza? Maybe again, Raiders fits, maybe their personnel, anything that kind of just tie a bow on this. Where you again, you kind of hinted at it. I consider him kind of the same tier as Stroud as a prospect. That's kind of
that's a good one. Yes, where it's like
just
not the sexiest top 5 pick. Like again, not quite Drake May, not quite Caleb Williams, but you do it every time.
Yeah.
Like you take a guy in that tier every time, and he can be a top 10 quarterback. And so I would say the only thing I would say about the Raiders fit is like, given the way that he likes to be aggressive, given how good he is at some of the back shoulder stuff outside the numbers, somebody who's a little bit more of a ball winner would be great. You know, maybe Jack Besh can develop into that, but currently that guy's not really on the roster.
Yeah, Matt Harmon and I spend a little too much time talking Raiders personnel, and that's something I really wanted them to be the Romeo Doubs team. I like it for the Patriots, but I thought he would have been a perfect fit for what they have, because it's like, you know, like Bowers is the one, you know, so that kind of loosens everybody else up. I think Trey Tucker is actually a good fit because he can be the deep ball guy. Naylor, we'll see. I like Naylor some in flashes, but I agree they need that kind of outside accent. He doesn't have to be a stud, but just a guy that can kind of do. It could be like if
Juwan Jennings gets free this offseason. Like, I know he's a little bit more of a slot guy, but just like a big guy that he can throw at.
Yeah, I mean, and then day 2 has a lot of options. The receiver, there's a lot of day 2 kind of big ball winners that actually would kind of fit perfectly for what that is. No, I agree. I think that play style fits with him. He did that at Cal too. It wasn't just with Surratt, who's really good at him. But like he was doing those back shoulders. He has a knack for him. It's a ball placement. Like that's his winning attribute, is accuracy and ball placement. Like he just hits throws time and time again. But yeah, I know. I'm cautiously optimistic about where the Raiders are going. I kind of like, you know, the Linderbaum move was great. Vet center, young quarterback, help boost that up. I think the weapons are actually a lot better. I think the run game will be good, even if the offensive line isn't complete. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually kind of cautiously optimistic about it all.